The Bible, for some of us, it is a source of wisdom and inspiration. For others of us, it's an ancient anthology of anachronistic nonsense with more than its fair share of straight-up, what the fuck moments. For instance, number 10, Deuteronomy 21:18 through 21. If someone has a stubborn and rebellious son who does not obey his father and mother and will not listen to them when they discipline him, his father and mother shall take hold of him and bring him to the elders at the gate of his town. They shall say to the elders, "This son of ours is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey us. He is a glutton and a drunkard." Then all of the men of his town are to stone him to death. You must purge the evil from among you. All Israel will hear of it and be afraid. So the penalty for being a gluttonous, drunken rebel is that you get stoned? Sign me up! Number 9, 1 Timothy 2:11 through 14. Let the women learn in silence with all subjugation, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Just a thought, but maybe feminist icons like Anita Sarkeesian should turn their attention away from pop culture and video games for a second and turn their attention to the Bible. Because if any video game had the explicit message, women are stupid and inferior to men and should just shut their fucking mouths. If a video game had that message, not in the subtext, not according to someone's interpretation, but explicitly and undeniably, then that video game would be removed from store shelves across fucking America. But if it's in the Bible, then everyone just nods their heads and says, that's okay. You know, we can even put that in every hotel room, and we can sell that at the fucking gas station. So, just to recap really quickly, perceived sexism in fictional video games or other entertainment mediums, offensive, end of the world, worst sexism ever. But explicit sexism in a book that purports to be not only the truth, but the truest truth of all time, and tons of people actually believe that to be so, no one considers that a problem. Really interesting. I shouldn't really say no one, but not nearly as many people as there were upset about Grand Theft Auto 7 or whatever the fucking last one was. Number 8, Leviticus 26:27 through 30. If in spite of all this you still do not listen to me, but continue to be hostile towards me, then in my anger I will be hostile toward you, and I myself will punish you for your sins 7 times over. You will eat the flesh of your sons and the flesh of your daughters. I will destroy your high places, cut down your incense altars, and pile your dead bodies on the lifeless forms of your idols, and I will abhor you. These sound like they're either the lyrics to a death metal song or something Hannibal Lecter would say to one of his victims before he kills them in some horribly complex way. Number 7, Deuteronomy 25:11 through 12. If 2 men are fighting and the wife of one of them comes to rescue her husband from his assailant and she reaches out and seizes him by his private parts, you shall cut off her hand. Show no pity. It would be pretty hard to not show any pity to someone who's getting their hand chopped off for a completely irrational reason, but I guess I'll try. And by the way, God, thanks for that objective morality. It's coming in real handy. Get it? Handy? Number 6, Mark 14:51 through 52. A young man wearing nothing but a linen garment was following Jesus. When they seized him, he fled naked, leaving his garment behind. Not much to say about that, it's just funny. Number 5, Ezekiel 4:15. Very well, he said, I will let you bake your bread over cow dung instead of human excrement. Wow! Thanks, God! That's so fucking nice of you! Number 4, Zechariah 13:3. And if anyone still prophesies, their father and mother to whom they were born will say to them, you must die, because you have told lies in the Lord's name. Then their own parents will stab the one who prophesies. Looks like it's gonna rain, huh, Dad? What was that, boy? Some kind of prophecy? Die! Oh, it was just cloudy. I inferred it. Number 3, Genesis 16:7-9. The angel of the Lord found Hagar near a spring in the desert. It was the spring that is beside the road to Shur. And he said, Hagar, slave of Sarah, where have you come from and where are you going? I'm running away from my mistress Sarah, she answered. Then the angel of the Lord told her, go back to your mistress and submit to her. All of Genesis 16 is actually pretty fucked up. Abram's wife Sarah is infertile, and so Sarah says to Abram, you know what? I can't give you any kids, so you can just rape one of my slaves. I got this slave named Hagar, and you can fucking totally fuck that bitch. And Abram's like, isn't that the unfunny Viking from those shitty comic strips? And she's like, no, it's a chick. It's a weird name, but, go bang her. And Abram goes, and he rapes the slave, and he impregnates her. And then once the slave is pregnant, she gets upset because I don't know why, and then she starts acting up, apparently, and Sarah's like, my slave is acting up, Abram, what should I do? And he's like, I don't give a shit, bitch, you're a slave, do whatever you want. And so Sarah starts abusing Hagar, or Hagar, or whatever the fuck her name is, and because she's being abused, she runs away, and that's where this verse leads into, is the angel of the Lord saying, don't run away from your abusive slave masters who raped you and gave you this unwanted pregnancy. Instead, go back to them so that you can bear them a son named Ishmael, who everyone will hate and will be against everyone. So it all works out in the end. Thanks, Bible! And by the way, a pregnant slave girl being abused by her mistress, is this the Bible or is this my internet history? Number 2, 1 Peter 2:18. Slaves, in reverent fear of God, submit yourself to your masters, not only those who are good and considerate, but also to those who are harsh. So just in case anyone thinks that last fucked up story I told doesn't prove that the Bible endorses slavery, here's just a much more explicit God says, fucking slaves, obey your masters. And the number 1 what the fuck moment in the Bible, Ezekiel 23:20. She lusted after her lovers, whose genitals were like those of donkeys, and whose emissions was like that of horses. Yep, there's a passage in the Bible that talks about a woman, actually a prostitute, lusting after men whose dicks are as big as donkey dicks, but they don't come as much as a donkey does. No, they come as much as a horse does. And the Bible could have just been like, she sat around lusting for men or something. But no, the Bible felt that in this particular passage, it had to get downright fucking explicit. No, she's lusting after dudes with donkey-sized dicks who come as much as horses do. And I mean, the Bible, of course, later condemns her for her lust. But it was awfully specific before it did, don't you think? Methinkest thou doth protest too much, Bible. And it's a pretty kinky book when you get right down to it. In fact, I'm even thinking about maybe doing like a 10 kinkiest moments in the Bible thing. Who knows? Depends on how fucking successful this video is. If you enjoy it, give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe to my channel, all that good bullshit. I'm the Amazing Atheist. Peace the fuck out.